Okay, so today, let's really unpack the engineering behind some true high-end video infrastructure.
Hmm.
We are diving into the WolfPack 4K60 seamless HDMI output card.
Right, the component that drives those massive modular matrix systems. Think, 18 by 18 or even 36 by 36 switchers.
And our mission here isn't just to read off a spec sheet. We want to figure out what engineering actually makes a video switch seamless.
Yeah, and what the real trade-offs are for getting that kind of speed.
So this card, the MM4K60 out card,
Mm,
this is for places where any flicker, any delay is just not an option.
exactly. We're talking high-stakes environments, casinos, big data control rooms, premium sports bars. They need to switch any input to any output instantly. This little card is engineered for just that.
Okay, so let's get into the specs that define that quality.
Mm.
We're talking the gold standard, right? 4K at 60 hertz, 4.4.4 color.
Yeah, and HDMI 2.0, HDCP 2.2, it's all built for pure speed. The card pushes a full 18 GBps of bandwidth.
But the real engineering breakthrough here is that number, 100 milliseconds, a tenth of a second for a seamless switch.
That's the magic number.
How is that even possible? I mean, you can't even blink that fast. Most systems are 3, maybe 5 times slower, and you always get that dreaded black screen.
Well, the secret is all about parallel processing.
Okay.
So traditionally, a switch has to do things in sequence. It does the ED'd handshake with the display, and then it does the HDCP security check.
And each step takes time.
A lot of time. This card, it does the ED'd and the HDCP handshakes simultaneously at both the input and the output. And to cover that tiny gap, it uses a frame buffer to hold the last stable image.
So you never actually see the switch happen.
You never see it, no lag, no flicker, it just changes.
That simultaneous handshake feels like it bypasses the biggest bottleneck in video history. But I have to assume that kind of power comes with some serious constraints.
It absolutely does. And this is something facilities have to plan for. The documentation is really clear on this. It's a critical warning.
Which
These 4K 60 cards cannot, under any circumstances, share a chassis with older cards. No analog, no 4K 30, no DVI, nothing. You're committing to a pure 4K 60 ecosystem.
That's a huge factor. You have to go all in.
Mm.
Okay, so let's talk about reliability then. Uptime is everything in these places.
And that's where the modular design is so important. These are one-port slide-in cards.
So if a single port dies, you're not yanking out an entire, 36-port chassis.
Exactly. You don't have to replace this incredibly expensive piece of hardware. You just hot swap the one failed card. The repair is done in minutes.
Okay, so the video's perfect. What about the audio? Is it just locked into the HDMI stream?
Not at all. It's pretty flexible. The card has a standard 3.5 millimeter jack right on it.
For de-embedded stereo audio.
Yep. So you can route the video wherever it needs to go, but send the audio out to a proper high-end sound system or outboard amps.
And what about those? Those times when you have a source or a display that's just being difficult about resolution.
For that, there's a neat little hardware fix. Each card has a physical 8-pin DIP switch.
Ah, an old school solution.
It lets an installer manually force a resolution. It's a lifesaver when you've got devices that just refuse to talk to each other correctly.
Turning to control, it looks like it covers all the bases. Front panel, a web GUI, RS-232.
And the mobile apps, yeah. But what's really fascinating is how they streamlined the advanced custom control.
So for the big integrators like Crestron or URC.
They have full optional drivers, of course. But for pros who write their own code, they made the RS-232 scripting incredibly simple. I remember installs where switching a few outputs was a dozen lines of code.
Yang here.
Here, if you want to switch input 8 to, say, outputs 1, 8, and 16, the command is just 8 by 1 and 8 and 16. That's it.
Wow.
That simplicity is a gift when you're on site trying to get a video wall working, and you can save up to 40 of those setups as preset scenes.
That's powerful, and I see it's TAA compliant, so it's good for government or institutional bids.
Right, and it has a 2-year advance replace warranty. If a card fails, they ship a new one immediately. You don't have to wait for the repair.
So if we tie this all together, it comes back to that initial constraint.
It does. The power of that 100 millisecond switch demands complete conformity. You get this incredible performance, but you lose the ability to mix in any of your legacy gear.
Which leads to a really provocative question for you to think about. When you're looking at a system with this much speed and custom integration, how does that strict all-or-nothing requirement for a pure 4K 60 ecosystem really change how an AV facility has to plan its investments? Does that mean you have to rip and replace everything at once?
Or are there maybe clever ways to segment your old equipment from the new? Something to mull over.